It all started with a single email that made my blood boil. Dear Mr. Callahan, your pool toys are a violation of HOA guidelines. Remove them by Friday or face a $200 fine. I read it twice, sitting at my kitchen table, coffee going cold, just to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. Pool toys. Seriously. My backyard had a couple of inflatable donuts and a neon green alligator floaty for my kids. Tucked behind a 6-foot privacy fence nobody could even see unless they were creeping around my property. But this was Green Meadows HOA, and Karen Mitchell, the self-appointed queen of the cul-de-sac, had a nose for sniffing out anything that didn't scream beige conformity. I'm Jake. By the way, 35, married, 2 kids, and a guy who just wants to grill burgers and let my boys splash around without some clipboard warrior turning my summer into a bureaucratic nightmare. Karen's email wasn't just a warning. It was a declaration of war. I'd heard the stories her crusade against Mrs. Lopez's garden gnomes, the time she tried to find the Wilsons for their tacky Christmas lights. She wasn't just enforcing rules, she was drunk on power, strutting around in her khaki capris like she owned our souls. My wife, Sarah, told me to let it go. Just toss the floaties in the garage, she said, rolling her eyes. But I couldn't. This wasn't about pool toys. It was about Karen thinking she could bully me into submission. I'd spent 15 years in this neighborhood, mowing my lawn, paying my dues, and I wasn't about to let her turn my backyard into her personal dictatorship. So, I started digging. The HOA rulebook was a 47-page snooze fest, but I found the loophole on page 32. No inflatable recreational items may be stored in view of the street. Fine. The pool toys were in the backyard, invisible unless Karen was scaling my fence with binoculars. But the rules didn't say jack about lawn decorations. That's when the idea hit me like a lightning bolt at a barbecue. If Karen wanted to play petty, I'd give her a show she'd never forget. I spent $300 on Amazon and had 30 inflatable flamingos delivered to my doorstep bright pink, gaudy as hell, and each one a middle finger to her reign of terror. The flamingos arrived on a Thursday, and I spent all night blowing them up with an air pump, my kids giggling like accomplices as we staked them into the front yard. By morning, my lawn was a sea of pink, bobbing in the breeze, some leaning drunkenly into my azaleas. I hammered a sign into the ground. Keep out Flamingo Fiesta in red spray paint, the letters dripping just enough to look unhinged. Sarah thought I'd lost my mind. Jake, you're poking a bear, she said, but I saw the smirk in her eyes. She was in, even if she wouldn't admit it. Friday morning, Karen showed up like clockwork, her SUV screeching to a stop in front of my house. I was ready, sipping coffee on my porch, wearing sunglasses like some suburban Tony Soprano. She stormed across my lawn, clipboard in hand, face redder than the paint on my sign. This is an outrage, she shrieked, waving at the flamingos. You're making a mockery of our community. I leaned back, calm as you please, and said, Karen, show me the rule I'm breaking. Page and paragraph. Let's hear it. She sputtered, flipping through her rule book, but I knew she had nothing. The flamingos were lawn decorations, not pool toys, and I'd checked every box to make sure they were legal. Her eyes narrowed, and she hissed, This isn't over, Jake. I just grinned. Sure thing. Karen, enjoy the fiesta. But I wasn't done. See, Karen had a habit of hosting her precious HOA meetings at her house, where she'd lecture us about mailbox uniformity while serving stale cookies. I got wind her next meeting was Saturday night, and I had one more card to play. I borrowed a buddy's projector, the kind he used for backyard movie nights, and rigged it in my garage to shine across the street straight onto Karen's pristine white siding. When her meeting started, I flipped the switch. A 20-foot wide image of a flamingo in sunglasses, captioned, "Flamingo Fiesta Forever," lit up her house like a Vegas billboard. The twist I'd hacked into her Wi-Fi, her password was literally Ho Queen Wonder 23, and streamed tropical music through her outdoor speakers, just loud enough to drown out her agenda. The fallout was glorious. Karen's meeting fell apart as her HOA minions gawked at the glowing flamingo. Some laughing, others snapping pics. She burst out her front door, screaming my name, but I was already inside, sipping a beer, watching from my window. Neighbors started texting me thumbs-up emojis. Even Mrs. Lopez, the gnome lady, sent me a winking flamingo gif. Karen tried to hit me with a fine for disturbing the peace, but the HOA board shot it down, turns out. Half of them were sick of her too. My flamingos stayed up for a week, and every day. Karen had to drive past them, her face a permanent scowl. In the end, I took the flamingos down, mostly because Sarah said they were scaring the dog. The pool toys. Back in the water, where they belonged. Karen's still out there, probably plotting her next crusade. But she hasn't messed with me since. My yard's quiet now. But every so often, I catch a neighbor grinning at me, like we share a secret. Sometimes you gotta fight petty with petty. And man, it feels good to win. So, what do you think? Was I a genius or just a guy with too much time on his hands? Drop your take below. I'm all ears. The end.